had an early morning and a late night shooting today, so I only have so much energy. I'm pretty tired, but I really had lots of things to talk about after this game, so I'm going to dive into this one and we'll see how it goes. First, Blue Jays win 9-3 in the first of a 4-game set in Minnesota. This is a key series against an opponent that upgraded itself seriously in a bid to go deep into the playoffs. One of 4 American League teams that did so, and the Blue Jays have been complained at by lots of people, including me, for not having done the same thing. Now, while I generally understand why they didn't go out and do those things, it still would have been more fun for them to go out and seriously upgrade themselves in a way that they didn't, really. So, getting a chance to directly face an upgraded competitor right away is kind of a fun thing. We get to see where we are. And Sonny Gray dominated this Blue Jays lineup for 5 innings. Except, wait, no, he didn't. He gave up 5 walks and had to throw more than 90 pitches to get through 5 innings. It was not a dominant performance at all. He was walking on a tightrope the whole way through. Just for whatever reason, the Blue Jays just couldn't seem to land the knockout blow. And this is an ongoing thing for this offense. For whatever reason, they only hit velocity now. If guys go up there throwing a fastball, the Jays are all over it. You go up there trying to throw like Ryan Yarbrough style, I'm just skimming over the last game of the Tampa Bay series because as soon as I learned that it was going to be this Jordy Beeks guy for an inning, I knew we have to score against him in order to win this game because we're never going to score against the founder and president of the Ryan Yarbrough School of Junk Balling Lefties, Ryan Yarbrough himself. Yeah, we just can't hit this guy. Seems like everybody else can because he's up there just laying it in at 80 miles an hour and it should be eminently hittable. For whatever reason, the Blue Jays just can't hit him. They can't, they never have, they never will. That's just how it is. It's insanely frustrating, and as soon as the Blue Jays were only able to score 1 run and left 2 runs on the table in the first inning against a very hittable Jordy Beeks, I was like, okay, well, that's the end of that, and I was right, and it's depressing. Anyway, back to this game. Sonny Gray's the same kind of thing. He's got this curveball, which is like his bread and butter. It's what he's known for, and I don't think he ever got it hit hard, ever. He just, whatever reason, whenever he needed an out, he just threw that curveball, and he got one, and that's how you get out of trouble. He walked 5 guys, including 2 leadoff batters in the 4th and 5th innings, and the Blue Jays did absolutely nothing to punish him for it. They got the bases loaded in the 5th inning with Vlad Guerrero at the plate, and nothing happened. And I thought, oh boy, are we in some trouble? We might be in some trouble. I mean, when you're down 1-0, you can't really say you're in some trouble, but it didn't look good. And then Rocco Baldelli makes what is, in a vacuum on an island, a perfectly sensible decision to bring in a hard-throwing reliever to replace your kind of like soft-tossing-ish, curveball-loving pitcher that started the game so successfully. You want to mix things up. I understand that completely. So here comes Emilio Pagan. Uh-oh. First, Teo, a massive dong. That's wonderful to see. He's actually been, him and Lourdes have been the most consistent Blue Jays in the last little while, and Teo can do it with power, which Lourdes this year just doesn't seem to have. Which, I'm not hating on Lourdes. He's very effective, but the power is nice, and Teo's power seems to be coming back to where we expected it to be, so that's good. Bo, after being demoted from the 4 spot for this game, kind of had some big FU energy a little bit. He had a ringing double off the wall, and then the previously mentioned to be effective Gurriel knocked him in with a single. He had 2 RBI singles that looked very similar in this game. Just keep doing your thing, Lourdes. You don't have to change a thing from my account. And then off a series of relievers whose things are all fastballs, the Blue Jays continued to punish the ball for the next little while, capped off with an absolute missile of a home run from Vladimir Guerrero Jr., a 3-run bomb to put the Blue Jays up 9-2. They would go on to win 9-3. That Vlad home run is the first in what feels like weeks. It probably isn't, but the guy's been doing like the single and double opposite field kind of thing. It was nice to see a curveball with like a 2-seam fastball, a little bit of movement, but that movement went right to his barrel, and that thing left the yard in about 3 seconds. It was great. And the bullpen was mostly great. Anthony Bass's return to the Blue Jays was not so auspicious as he gave up a home run to Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. I haven't liked their albums since like 2010, so they're pretty washed up, so it was kind of upsetting that he was able to hit his first home run of the year there. But yeah, well, whatever, I don't care. Anthony's going to be very effective for us. His slider looked very good, except for that one time it wasn't. Jays win. That's great. They look good doing it. That's even better. Whit Merrifield is on the team and is vaccinated, apparently. And Zach Pop was there. I saw him warming up. I don't think he got in the game, but that's fine. And it was a good win, and that's great. It was so bizarre. It was like watching 2 different teams play. They didn't get their first hit of the game until there were 2 outs in the 5th inning, and then they didn't score in that inning at all. And then they replace a very effective Sonny Gray with his curveball out of there, and they bring in relievers who throw gas, and the Blue Jays absolutely crushed them. It's just hilarious when you hear all of these doomer pundits, either on the internet or on the radio or wherever, all of these guys talking about the Blue Jays didn't go out and get swing and miss for their bullpen. They didn't go out and get like the big right-hander with the big arm to blow a guy away with 100-mile-an-hour smoke when it matters. Well, you know what? If the Blue Jays are going to be facing a lot of those teams that went out and got guys with 100-mile-an-hour smoke who are going to go up against them when it matters, the Blue Jays have nothing to fear about that. Seriously, if you want to knock the Blue Jays out of the playoffs early, just find 4 or 5 Ryan Yarbrough clones to fill out your roster and just keep on laying them in there. Left-handed at 81, 85, the Blue Jays swing right over the top of it and go home crying. But if you try to do the thing where you're going to throw a big muscled-up fastball, get ready for it to leave the yard. These Blue Jays are not afraid of velocity. And it seems like every pundit out there is like, well, these guys win the trade deadline and they improve their team the most because they got the most swing and miss, 100-mile-an-hour smoke when it mattered. Guys, bring it on, man. I don't think this team is afraid. I don't think they should be afraid. Anybody but the Rays, because honestly, I feel like Kevin Cash is the only guy who's figured out that this Blue Jays team kryptonite is just Ryan Yarbrough-style junk ballers. And they'll just keep throwing them out there against the Blue Jays. So, like, we can't beat the Rays because they know how to beat us. Everyone out there is out there trying to flex with their big, heavy, right-handed flamethrowers. They're not looking at what the Blue Jays do well or what they do poorly. They're thinking about what they feel good when they do. And the Blue Jays feel pretty good when they do it, too. Anyway, Jays win. That's great. They beat an opponent who is going to be directly compared to them because of their relative activities in the trade deadline, so that's nice. They still can't catch the Yankees, but they still hold the first wild card spot, so all's well. Like, the focus of the rest of the regular season has to be twofold. One, obviously, you want to maintain first wild card. But you already have that, so you basically just kind of need to keep on. You don't have to play especially better than you're playing right now. The rate of wins at which you get them now is probably sufficient. You're probably fine. But the second and most important thing is you want guys feeling healthy and feeling good for the end of the year and feeling most productive. George Springer basically had a one-handed single. And the box score will tell you he hit a clutch 2-run single to blow the game open and move the lineup along for Vlad to hit his game-ending home run there. And yes, that's technically true, but if you watch the at-bat, the infield was drawn in, and he just hit a ground ball that happened to split some drawn-in infielders. It was not a hard-hit ball at all. It was more kind of a well-placed ball, and he swung the bat one-handed. Guy's clearly still not healthy or really in a position to be playing Major League Baseball. The Blue Jays have just decided that, I guess, a placement on the 15-day IL won't do anything. It won't fix the problem. It won't do anything other than kick the can down the road. So there's no point in doing that. You might as well just keep an 80%, you hope, 80% George Springer in the lineup so that he can do things like he did this evening. I find fault with that. I especially find fault with putting him in the number 1 spot in the lineup just because that's where George Springer hits. But this guy ain't George Springer right now. He's like the artist formerly known as George Springer, and he's doing the best he can, but he just doesn't have it right now because he's hurt. I think a far better outcome would be do whatever it takes, shut him down for as long as it takes to try if you can. I mean, I guess if you have reason to believe this can't happen. But you'd love to get him healthy and right in time for October because that's when healthy George Springer matters. Similarly, you want to have Whit Merrifield integrated with the team in time for October baseball. You want to have Vlad swinging it like he swung it tonight, and Bo swinging it like he swung it tonight in time for October baseball, because that is what's going to tip the scales in the Blue Jays' favor more than anything else, along with no one else figuring out that the Blue Jays just can't hit junk balling lefties. So I guess I should stop talking about it so that, fortunately, no one watches this channel, so I think my secret's safe. All right, I'm now kind of getting loopy and going off the rails, so I'm going to call it right there. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you very much for watching this channel. Like and subscribe, etc. I will see you tomorrow night, I promise, for the second game of this 4-game series, and it will be a day of largely of rest and then shopping. So it should be a little bit more relaxing for me, and maybe I'll be a little more coherent after that one. I will see you tomorrow night.